Oh, I think that's him right there. He looks like the guy we're watching. Awesome.
Yep.
Cool. Sweet. Yeah. I had a good day too, man. It's a pretty good day. I got to see some employees, so that's always good.
Okay.
Like, you know, so they see my face, you know what I mean? Because a lot of the time I only talk to these guys over the phone or like text messaging.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's like really cool to see them and give them Gatorades and stuff, make them feel good. We're talking about my day, man, at work.
Awesome.
I'm in the corp. No, it's not awesome, but it was awesome today. Nice to meet you, man. How you doing, bud?
Nice to meet you, man.
Man, he gave me like the old man handshake. Wow, now I really feel old.
Oh, no, I'm just more professional these days.
No, that's how it is. That's fine. I'll remember that. No, I'm just kidding.
I had to keep it hip-hop around.
Word.
It's the college. It's the button down.
Let me make sure your mic's good. Just to check that real.
Yeah. Mic check.
1, 2. What is this?
All right, we good. So, finish what you were saying. Then
well, no, I mean it was just a good day. You know, it's one of those days where work feels a little rewarding. You know what I mean? So it's those days. You know, sometimes are few and far in between.
Yeah.
It's just like, let me hurry up and get this thing over with because I got the light bill I got to pay or whatever.
Sounds like real life old man.
Bro, it is real life old man first world problems for real. All right, but we got the real dude in the house. Go
Word
ahead.
up. So, I mean, we're just starting and everything, but we got our special guest in the building. I want to give a big shout out to the homie Nino Blu.
What's up?
Sitting across from the table,
yeah.
with us. Nino, I mean, we got to do the basics. So
yeah, of course, we'll do everything. Yeah.
Please introduce yourself. Let the people know who they're listening to.
Yeah, my name is Nino Blu. I'm a rapper from Orlando, Florida. Still up and coming, on the rise, and I hope I can give you some music that you'll jam to. So, you know, hopefully this interview gets you a lot more into me as a person. So. I'm hyped. I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm excited. Yeah.
So
sure.
we got a thing where we say we like to talk jive on this show because we just be talking jive and so pretty much you gonna talk your jive with us today.
Yeah. I'm with it.
Word up. So quick questions and all that good stuff, like all the like backstory and everything. We go back.
Yeah.
We go back.
Yeah, I want to know this.
I would like to tell this story because the first time I met I think you were working with one of my friends, Jessica, and I think she told you about we were doing like this little live stream or something at the house.
Yeah, I forgot how I ended up there.
Yeah, you like pulled up by yourself.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah, no, that was a friend from work that told me about your event at the house, and I popped up, and there was like a bunch of wine and food and like
a bunch of wine, yeah,
and like music, and like I was like, all right, cool. Like, so I'll have some wine, you know. Some people had some more stuff, and they passed that stuff to me, and I kind of just laid back. I had to pick up my mom from the airport that night, and
we live real close to the airport.
Yeah. I was really gone.
That sounds like
I was almost falling asleep on the couch. So I remember that. I was like on the stairs, just like knocked out. But that was funny. That was a fun night.
That was the first time we met. But that sounds like one of our events. We on college radio, so we can't say.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
I get it.
Can we curse on here? Or no?
Let's try not to.
Yeah.
Let's try not
just
to.
making sure.
You know, if something slips, we can.
Yeah.
We're all right. You know?
If it slips, it
but
slips.
so I met this cat. He showed up by himself to a house full of people he did not know, and I was like, "That's bold."
Yeah.
Because
well, why not? I mean,
but that's what I'm saying. Like most people wouldn't do that.
Yeah, no. I mean,
so
I wouldn't do that.
So after that, I was like, "Yo, this dude this dude is cool because he showed up and then he vibed out with everybody like he knew us all." And, you know, we try to, we know, you know, it was all, we treat people like family, so it was all dope. But that was the first time I met this cat. And then we also had this run-in, and I really want to talk to you about this run-in to see how you feel now after everything that's happened with you and with what's going on. But first, let's talk about what has happened with you. So recently, you were doing a stint up in New York. Can you tell the people about your experience when you were up in New York and what happened to you out there? Like, what's been going on with you ever since that?
Well, what happened was I went to New York because I really wanted to just go out of my comfort zone and go to a big city where the music was flourishing. And in New York, I had developed a relationship with a radio personality named Charlamagne the God that does the Breakfast Club interviews. And so I spoke to him for about maybe like 4 or 5 years, and that turned me into like, just kind of getting more acquainted with him, and me just getting bold enough to ask him, can I get an internship with you? He said yes. I pack up my bags, quit my job. I get there. He gets a lot of things that are going on in his own life, his personal life, right when I get there. Like, the timing was horrible, and I couldn't get the internship anymore. So I decided to stay as if I was doing the whole semester course of the internship. I already had all my things there. I stayed there, roughed it out. It was hard, and I lost my car. My car had broke down. I had lost my apartment that I was in. I got kicked out, and I was like out on the streets for about six days. And then by the 6th day, I ran to Kanye West, and then Kanye West had brought me into the studio, had put me on his Instagram, on his Facebook. I'm not his Facebook, his Twitter, and it just kind of catapulted me to a whole new level, and a lot more people are aware of who I am now, and it's been quite a ride since then. It's been 4 months since then, and I've just been. It's still going, it's constantly moving. I'm constantly on the move, and I'm very grateful and happy that it all kind of turned out the way it did, because it just shows me that everything happens for a reason, and you kind of just have to just keep, chugging along, no matter if you get some adversity along the way, just keep going, and at the end there's going to be some light at the end of that tunnel. So that's what it was for me, it was really surreal. Like, even I don't think anything can like really make sense in my mind how that happened or how those moments connected, because if I didn't, if my car didn't break down, if I didn't get kicked out, if I didn't meet this person at this right time, I would have never have been in that situation. So it's cool. It's a beautiful thing.
Has it made you like a believer in like, I don't know, serendipity, maybe the word I want to use, or it's kind of like a believer in like, you got to be at the right place, the right time. Like, those things really do happen for a reason.
Yeah,
like, it's not coincidence that all that happened. Or do you think it's just? I
don't think it's coincidence. What's weird is like, I don't believe it's tough. Like I'm like in the middle ground between believing you can manifest things with your mind, and then also believing that you can't manifest things with your mind, but then but then but then I end up manifesting things with my mind. With like before I left, I was very forward with my friends. Like, something is going to happen when I go to New York, and I'm telling you right now, if you're not on board now, you're not going to be on board when I come back. Something's going to happen. In my mind, though, I felt like it was going to all be through Charlamagne, though.
Yeah.
And even with him, when I couldn't get the internship anymore, and they were kind of just trying to give me advice on how to move and what to do, I kind of went against their advice and was just like, no, I'm going to do this my way. I'm going to do this the way I've been doing it. I'm going to, go to every radio station. I'm going to go to every event, everything, and I'm just going to see, what sticks to the wall, And when it happened, it was kind of like, I told you so, like I told you something was going to happen. And when it happened, I was surprised, but I wasn't surprised. I was in the car with Kanye, looking out the window, just looking at God, like it was like a secret between me and God. It was just like, yeah, you know what? Like, I knew this was going to happen. You knew that this was going to lead me in this direction, and now I'm here in this moment right now. So I felt like I was exactly where I needed to be in that moment. And now with my life, what I've gained a lot from that experience is I don't have too much anxiety anymore about the future. Yeah. Before, I would stress about future things, like you think too far ahead, like, oh man, this messed up and this messed up or whatever. But now I'm highly convinced that every adversity, any person you meet, even you waking up late for work that day, all is like a divine purpose for what you're trying to accomplish in your life, Yeah. So I feel like every move I make is meant for what it is. Right now, this moment right now in itself is meant to happen right now for whatever reason it is, and then, then it will lead me to something else, Yeah. Because it's still very surreal to me.
Jerry, shout out to Jerry. I used to work with Jerry at one of my old jobs, but she said fate. Fate might have been kind of the word, so I was looking for, It's just That's insane. I mean, your story is insane. I saw some of the interviews you had, like the 94.1 interview and stuff like that too. And dude, it just, I mean, to me, I guess, you know, losing your car was tough. Getting kicked out of where you're living was tough. But amongst all that, what would you say was probably the hardest thing of it all? You know what I mean? Like,
really, like, I think just when it comes to music and trying to do something like this, like, everyone will tell you that it's impossible. That's the thing. It's like
even yourself will tell you it's possible.
Yeah,
impossible.
Yourself, you know. That's like the battle I go with. Is like, you know, you can't control this. You can't fully control like the minds of the people. You can't control like how people are gonna react to you. You can't control even the music you make in those moments. You know, it's like a lot of these things are just almost like, you know, you have to have just almost like blind faith in a way, you know. And I think the hardest thing for me was maintaining that blind faith after so many things were just working against me, you know, not getting the internship at the radio station in New York, you know, my own friends telling me like, you know, maybe you're wasting your time, you know, the people I was looking up to in New York telling me like, yo, I think you're wasting your time. And even money, you know, how am I gonna, you know, even support myself in this situation right now? And that was the hardest thing, was just like keeping the faith. And I feel like in those moments, I remember driving, you know, in New York and talking out loud to God or the universe or whatever. I would just turn the music off or have the music on and just like talk out loud and say, you know, like, hey, like, I know you know what's going on in my life right now, and I know you know my true intentions in my heart, so please just like send me any sign that you can that is gonna let me know that I'm not crazy, that like that I'm on the right track, that I'm doing the right thing. Because right now it seems like when you tell God your plans, like, you know, they're laughing at you almost. It's like, yeah. I get it, you know, like, all right. And then losing my car, I was like, all right, that's really messed up. And then not having a place to stay and sleeping anywhere I could, like in a bus terminal and like in a locker room, in a gym, you know, like anywhere I could just to find shelter. Mm-hmm. I just kind of looked at it like, man, like this isn't what I had just like planned at all, you know? And I think that's just the hardest part. Like once you climb higher and higher, your faith has to get stronger and stronger, because that's when more people are doubting you. That's when, you know, that's when everyone feels like, oh, you know, you should be here. You know, you should be at this level now. Or some people, you know, have a lot of different opinions and perspectives on like how my life is going right now. But nobody really knows, you know, unless I tell you, you know. So I just believe in myself. I close off all the noise, and I just, you know, I don't listen to anybody.
Where do you get that from, man? Because not everybody can do that.
I think I get it from my dad. My dad, he's a very like bold man, you know, like he moved out to Alaska when I was young and lived out there for a long time and just endured like rough circumstances. You know, my dad has been through ups and downs in his life where, you know, he's been in situations where, you know, he had to sleep in his car or didn't have much and always rose above. But like what I admire a lot about my dad is that he smiles a lot through like trouble. You know, he may have his moments where he's down, but I've noticed he smiles a lot. So I tried to do that. When I was no place to live, I was like just smiling, like, you know what, like, all right, you know, this is kind of funny, I guess. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna get out of this. I have no idea what's gonna happen next. My birthday is happening. This is a great birthday present, you know, like no place to live. Great, you know. And
real quick, have you ever experienced that moment when everything's going wrong? You just sit, like, you just laugh because you're just like, I'm at my breaking point.
Yeah, it's that meme with the little dog in the fire. You know what I mean? It's like, this is fine. This is all fine. Everything's like burning down around you.
So while all that was going on, do you feel as you were at a breaking point?
Yeah. Definitely.
Like, was that like when you was reaching out, when you was turned the music off and you was talking, was that like,
those were
if something didn't happen, would that have just been it?
Yeah, that would have been, because I was telling myself like, you know, I'm getting to that point in my life where it's like, you know, your parents are like, what are you going to do with your life? You know, like, where's your degree at? You know, where's your job? Where's your income? Like, what are you going to do with your life right now? Music doesn't seem to be working for you right now. So what are you going to do for yourself? And I told myself, I was like, man, if this doesn't work this year, I'm going to not stop music, because I can never stop music. That's just inside of me to do. But I just told myself, like, I'm just going to take a step back from it and try and figure out my life financially and college-wise, school-wise, and do that. I really was telling myself, I was like, well, you know, that's it. I gave it all I had. I met a lot of great people in my life, and, you know, maybe that's what it was for. And then when I had got that Kanye cosign, and when I had experienced the things that he showed me and what he was teaching me and the things he told me, it just was like, oh yeah, I'm definitely not quitting. And it's definitely going to turn up like by 1,000 now. You know, anyone that's ever seen me throughout the city, or any of my friends, or anyone that's been, you know, aware of my journey so far, like, things are definitely going to turn up. And, you know, I'm just going to be even more relentless than I've been in the past, you know, way more tunnel vision now, you know. So, yeah, I was going to quit. I was going to quit.
I have this saying. This is how I get through. This is how I maintain. This is how I keep on pushing. I have this saying. When everything is going bad, when you're that dog sitting in the room of fire, all you have to do is endure that fire for just a little bit more, and then something is always good on the other end. I tell myself that. I think that is a form of brainwashing myself.
Yeah.
To believe that something is going to happen that's good. I think everybody who wants to be successful that bad create this craziness that they tell them, like, that it's I think it's pure crazy. You're really conditioning your brain to just believe that I can make it through, I can make it through, I can make it through. And that's what makes you make it through. It's just like, this ain't gonna last forever. It's not gonna last forever. Most people can't do that. They can't keep pushing, because it's just like, all right, I gotta stop, gotta do something else, this ain't working. Yeah, like, I think it's just a sign of crazy that people can just be like, I'm gonna keep doing this consistently. Yeah, I get 5 views, but I'm gonna keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? And that's just,
well, you just got to believe in yourself. You got a good sense of belief in yourself too, man. So that's
thank you.
Yeah, that's tremendous. Because, man, not a lot, like I'm telling, not a lot of people do. You know, it's funny hearing your story. It's like, you know, your car broke down for you not to go back home, bro. That's why, you know.
That's why I couldn't go home. You
that's
know,
it,
like,
yeah.
that was
that's
like,
it. It's like,
that was the
that's
thing.
your sign. You know, that was the sign. Like, you ain't going nowhere. you gotta, you're not done yet here. Figure it out. And I think that's, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of like, you know, that's the way I see it, which is pretty neat.
Yeah, no, it was definitely like, it was like, because if I had just got kicked out, I probably would have just drove back to Orlando, you know, and just made it work there. Or if, like, let's just say my car was just broken down, you know, I would have just been like, all right, you know, I'm just going to get my car fixed and whatever. But the fact that I had to move all my things in my car, so I couldn't even sleep in my car.
Yeah.
Couldn't do anything. And also, no one really knows that story. So there was a conspiracy that Kanye and I had faked this whole thing about him helping somebody that was like,
I saw that because
homeless.
at the time Kanye West was getting a lot of heat for, we were even talking about it on the show. It was a lot of heat. Was it when he went on?
It was before.
I was that same day.
It was that same day.
Yeah,
okay.
It was that same day. So people thought like, you know, right before his album had dropped, he was just like doing this to promote his album, and that him and I had just like came up with this like grand plan to just like trick the masses that he's a good person or something. But no, like, it was real, and people like were just like, yeah, he's not homeless. He's like, he's with all these celebrities on the radio station, and you know, Charlemagne. How is he struggling? You know, and just like, well, you guys don't know. It's like I have no way of getting out of the situation right now,
and it's just pictures on Insta. It's just like where you've been. It's the past. It doesn't mean that it's currently there.
Yeah,
but
no,
see,
sure.
I knew you, so like when I was seeing that, I was like, they don't know that this man is this man's hustle is so unbelievable. Like, I always wish I wish I had the hustle like him, because, and I don't say this about everybody, but I said this when we met, like, even when we was at the Division concert, and I want to talk about that, because you remember that day, right?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, so even then I was like, man, this man's hustle is insane. And the people who were saying that online, they didn't realize that, and I was just like, man, if only they knew. But so what do you feel like how do you handle the instant going from a couple hundred followers online to thousands, and then people are like, you're fake?
Yeah.
How do you handle that after after you were just saying that you were at a breaking point? You got to a point where it was like a voila situation where it was that transforming point, like Alan said.
Yeah.
And then you got a bunch of people hitting you like, oh, you're fake. But then there's other people, giving you like saying, we believe in you, we want to help. But how do you mentally go from, yesterday nobody cared, now everybody cares or has something to say? How do you handle that?
I feel like there's a few things. Like in the past, about maybe 3 years ago, around that time, I had saved up around $3,000, $4,000 to be on World Star, and I'd saved up about $4,000, and I had put this.
To be on World Star,
you gotta pay
to be on World Star on the site. So like I put one box on. And I got some like World Star hate, and I was like, all right, cool. So this is what it looks like. This is what it feels like. A bunch of people just attacking me for no reason.
Yeah.
Don't even know who I am.
It's the internet, bro.
And then I did the full leap of faith and did a full $3,000 on the big box on World Star, where they put you at the very top of the site for a whole 24 hours. It was a picture of me and Drake, actually, because Drake had brought me on his tour bus. So I had this like song or this verse that kind of described that moment, because they helped me out a lot. His team had helped me out like with just like encouragement. So that was like my way of like trying to show them like, hey, like I appreciate it, and like please like look at me, like I've grown a lot since then, And so when I put those $3,000 on World Star, I had got an immense amount of hate, just anyone that I feel like comments. That there's always going to be like hate. People just like commenting, whatever.
World Star is like
the number one hater place in the universe.
And when it happened,
and Black Twitter.
When it happened, yeah. And then when it happened, it didn't really affect me too much mentally, and also like I've had like horrible like friends and like girlfriends that have like always like were like demeaning to me as like a young kid growing up. Like I was always picked on like in like I don't know, elementary, middle school to early high school. Like I was always like almost like the black sheep of like the whole like situation of like my crowd. And I think that mentally just like it hurt in that moment, but it made me stronger. It gave me tough skin to take, words of hate and criticism from other people. Because the people that I loved, like my girlfriend or my close friends, were the ones that were like making me feel bad about myself. So what do I care what strangers have to say about me? I don't care what strangers have to say about me. I don't even know you, and I know for a fact you would kill to be in the position that I'm in right now, And also the mentality of going from, where people like don't care and then getting thousands of people that care, have something to say. It's been a little weird to adjust, because I remember who was talking to me before, and then I just like see a pattern and changes in behavior now, and it's just something that I just had to just kind of accept. Like I can't really get mad at it, because if I get mad, it's just gonna just always internally bother me. People can't get anything out of me. Like they can't get money or they can't get opportunity out of me. No one can misuse me unless I let them misuse me. So I just look at it like, what? People have their way of like trying to show love or trying to get involved in a situation, and I've just learned to accept it, and I'm just happy, like I can't have like prayed for this my whole life, and then it happens, and then suddenly I'm like bitter. I'm bitter, but it's a challenge though.
What makes how do you trust?
How do I trust?
Yeah. What makes you, how do you trust that? Like, you got a bunch of people like, yo, we'll do this, we've always loved you. Then you got the other people, like, how do you accept people who are actually being genuine? How can you tell people are actually being genuine?
I feel like you, I don't trust. I don't trust anybody. Because, it's like I said earlier, like the people that I've loved and have loved me the most have been the people that have betrayed me, in the past. So like I look like, all right, I can't even trust the people that are really have been there for me for a long time, let alone strangers, you know. So as far as like genuine, I mean, I just like look at like, you know, people's intentions, you know, like I just like try and like see like, you know, the good in people like initially, and I get it, you know. And I look at it like when Charlemagne and, you know, the OVO guys and Kanye and people like that were like talking to me, you know, they weren't looking at me like, oh, this guy is trying to get something out of me. They were just being open with me, you know. And I just feel like, all right, you know, I learned from them, and if they were looking at me right now, I would want them to see that I'm a very mature man that handled other people the way they taught me how to handle other people. So I just like, I learned that from Charlemagne. Like I learned that like as far as like just the way he greets people that approach him, because I've seen him in many situations where people approach him and they, you know, either want something or whatever it is. I see how he handles it, and I don't know. I pray and I hope that people's intentions are genuine, you know. And if they're not, I pray to God for protection, you know. You know, protect me from anything that's trying to misuse me or do anything harmful to me. But yeah, it's definitely it becomes like a world where like you don't know whose like intentions are good, but it's not about them, you know. It's about me, you know. And if they want to use me, then like, all right, cool, like I'll use you back, you know, like, you know.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
or you know,
who's hot right now to you?
Drake, Kendrick, Cole.
Why is Drake hot? Can I put you on the spot?
Okay, so this guy. Okay, let's give him some backstory.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you some background on this.
So first of all, throw out your social media if anybody wants to follow you. Or anything like that.
My social media is is Nino _Blu _ and there's no E at the end of blue, so it's Nino NINO _BLU _. That's on Instagram, and let me know what you thought about the interview and like a comment in my pictures. But as far as why I think Drake's on top right now musically is because he's just extremely consistent, and he delivers music on a level like production wise and lyrically and just songwriting wise, choruses on a consistent level. I've never seen anybody put out material after material for like 10 years now. Like it's been since 2000.
It's been about 10.
It's been since 2008. When he broke out on the scene, it's just been like #1 consistently, and it has no signs of slowing down anytime soon, at least, you know. So, and also like I'm a little biased because like I said, like they've helped me out in the past before, and like I know those people, like I've seen, like I know them, you know?
What about this Pusha T beef and then the whole thing that happened last summer?
It's such old
I don't
news,
care,
though,
but I want to
man.
know what he thinks about it. Who won?
This guy, by the way, hates Drake.
Oh no.
But see, on the other end, I don't like Kanye West. So
I love Kanye. I think he's a genius. Honest to God, Kanye is a musical genius. That's just what it looks like to other people, because I'm telling you. But he's wilding out on some things sometimes. That's what it is.
I love Kanye and I love Drake, you know, but like as far as that whole Pusha T thing, like I just feel like, you know, like almost like a kid, like, and your parents are like divorcing.
Oh,
or
wow.
Like, you know, Cause I was raised on Kanye's music, and I was raised on Drake's music, and Drake his people have helped me out so much that it would just be like a stab in the back to them if I ever disrespected them in any kind of way.
No.
Even with Kanye, you know, helping me out like the way he did, like it would be. They're actually proud of me. Yeah. They know what happened. You know, they saw what happened. I spoke to 40. I spoken to, you know, Drake's manager. Future took the business and ran it for me. You know, like my shout out to my boy OVO Ryan. Like they're proud of me. You know, so they haven't like made any like thing where like, oh, like screw that guy, you know, or whatever. You know, they've actually been very respectful. You know, and with Kanye as well, like I just look at it like, man, like I'm never the type to let other people's beefs like make me like look at people a certain way. I look at it like, this is rap. They have their thing, and I just don't get involved. This is kind of
I feel you. I feel you 100%.
It's a little ironic though, because the only reason why I found out where Kanye was gonna be was because they were letting me inside the Drake concerts in New York. because I met a photographer outside the Drake concerts, which the photographer outside of the Drake concerts was the person that gave me the tip where Kanye was going to be.
Yeah.
And also, it is even more ironic that I was talking to OVO for like 5 years now, 6 years, and then this happens, and it's like, oh crap, you know, like, how are you guys gonna feel about this? You know, like, are you guys gonna still trust me?
Yeah.
Or, you know, but it's been great, you know, feedback. I know they're very proud of me, and I'm sure, you know, at least I hope that, you know, they'll make up.
Like,
you know?
I'm no character hits at all. I'm like, I'm sure they're all awesome.
Yeah.
Dudes.
100.
I just
everyone,
Jay, I just can't, man.
Like me,
everyone.
Like this guy, I
with
can't.
me with Kanye, like, I respect the older music and things like that just because it resonated with me. When it comes, what I don't like more is just like the things that he's getting on national television and talking about is the stuff that I just can't rock with. And I know everybody has their opinion on that, but
I'm just sticking to music, strictly music. That's why. But I don't. I just. Nah, whatever, man. You know, it's.
I mean, I think they're both great. I think they're both doing a lot more than a lot of other artists are.
Sure.
You know, because
for sure.
That's what I'm saying though. Is like,
but
I can't
getting pushed. Too.
I can't nitpick these legends when like we got, you know, Lil
Drake's a legend. Oh my god!
I was telling you that the other.
They're legends.
Oh my god!
They're legends.
Drake, no, God, you know, Drake is God.
But you know, but then when you got like Lil, like, I don't know, Molly Head or something like that, rapping like Molly, Tolly, blah 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 blah. Like, it's like, yo, like, there's so much trash out there that I appreciate when people are actually trying.
Yeah.
And I feel like Kanye and Drake are two people that try with their music.
Kanye definitely tries.
Music
I don't know about
would
Drake.
be way better if more people tried to, you know, like, take some tips from Kanye and Drake. You know, like, in my opinion, I just feel like,
so just sing? They do. Ja Rule did it. I'm telling you, I said it.
Oh, God.
Anyways, I know. Yeah, I said it. I don't care. It's just singing, rapping. But this is the thing. Disclaimer. Like, on some real, and I know not everybody comes from where I'm coming from, and I know not everybody sees it the way I see it. And to each their own. Everyone can interpret music in their own way, and that's why music is music to everyone. I understand that. Mm-hmm. To me, it just stinks because hip hop, to me, it's like, man, you know, and I'm not saying a lot of it is, but a lot of it was like they had a story to tell. You know, it's like, and at the same time, we're telling you this story. There's a reason why I'm telling you this story. Like, you're gonna learn something from this because this is something like that happened
Drake
to me.
tells stories.
Or something. No, he doesn't. He don't tell no. That's why. To me, he doesn't. I'm sorry, and that's the only thing.
I could.
To me, he's just talking about girls. The same thing. It's like, sing love songs. Love songs. He's a good entertainer. And he's a good actor.
I could debate this all day.
I feel you. I know you could.
Like, if you have Kanye,
yeah. I know.
I could.
Dude, he was amazing on Saturday Night Live. Like,
he
is a great entertainer. I will not take that away from him.
Me and him
but
go
he
back
can't
and
be
forth
rapping to me. He can't rap to me. He can rap to females, but not to me.
Nothing was the same as the classic album. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Nothing was the same. It's one of the best rap.
I can't. I've never. I'm not gonna. Full disclosure, I've never even heard it. I know it's not fair for me to talk about it if I've never even heard it.
So
you're right.
I'll exit out of the Drake and Kanye hate or whatever.
No, listen, Jesus.
All right. So I'll say that Drake's "Nothing Was the Same" is a classic hip hop album. To me, one of the top 5. You know.
Shout out to Bilbo too, real quick.
Also, with Kanye, you know, he's a good-hearted person, and old Kanye, new Kanye. To me, Kanye is like elevated music, surpassed everything, you know, and he's about to do his next
everything
album.
That he's doing now. He rapped about in all his albums before.
And
he
somebody else was telling me that they were having a debate with me about it because. My whole thing is like, you know, I'm okay. I can have my opinion where it's like his new music doesn't resonate with me. I can do that. It does as a consumer. It doesn't resonate with me. His older stuff does. That's what I mean. That's my debate with old Kanye, new Kanye.
You don't
but
like Kids
things
See
change.
You didn't like Kids See Ghosts?
No,
I love that.
But things change. So, but what did it with me now is just like his platform, the responsibility and the things he says, he needs to be better articulating. Because I understood
But
what he was.
we're talking about music. We're just talking about music.
All right,
strictly music.
Yeah, you got rock stars like biting bats' heads off. Like,
Listen,
like,
you know what I'm saying?
Like doing devil
I
worshiping
get it.
stuff. Like, like forget like what people do on their own time.
You got Ja
like,
Rule's throwing fake music festivals.
But see,
You don't know
but
what
see,
people are doing on their own personal time.
But some
you know?
some of the things he did it on national television with a huge platform where it's like you got to take some
Hold
responsibility.
on, real quick though. Shut up, KB. I see everything you're saying. I don't even care. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I understand like people's like perspective on that. I mean, I feel like talking to him and like seeing more things, like I kind of like I see a little bit more of what his vision is on what he's trying to do.
He had time to articulate what he was trying to say.
It's tough.
Kanye's
It's tough to
vision
put
is so Kanye's vision is so wide range that like you can't fully dissect it in just one conversation. He has to have multiple conversations in order to be like, all right, you know what, I get where he's coming from, and he's only human. It's like that's why we love Kanye. The whole taking the mic, I
love that.
Taking the mic, the whole at the award shows, turning up. George Bush doesn't care about black people. That's been him since late registration. That's been him since the very beginning, and I've never cared about that stuff. Just give me good music. Give me the good music that you've always given us. In my opinion,
Listen, there's a time and place for everything. Maybe the mic grab was poorly timed, but listen, someone had to say what he had to say.
Word.
Nobody was gonna say it.
Word. But is okay. I will keep.
That's all I'm saying. But all I'm saying is
just
music alone, bro. Listen, you know what I'm saying. And
I could go on.
Yeah,
we could stay on this topic for so long.
It could be a whole thing.
I'll put on Boyz II Men albums if I want to listen to Drake music. All right, you know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
Moving on. Let's talk about.
Wait, real quick before we do move on.
All right.
Real questions, real quick. I'm gonna try to come up because I used to have 5. Biggie or Pac?
Yeah. All these basic questions.
I have to. I want to hit them.
I will say this. I was born in Los Angeles, California, so I was raised on Tupac and Bone Thugs and Harmony. So when I was 13 years old, my aunt, shout out to Carmen, she gave me a Tupac autograph when I was 13 years old. She had met Tupac going to the mall in Los Angeles, had a deck of cards on her, had a 2 of clubs, and gave him the 2 of clubs, signed it. She would tell me about it when I was like 10 years old, 11, the story, and on my 13th birthday, she gave it to me. So I have a Tupac autograph back home. So I'm going to say Tupac.
Word.
All right, dog or cat?
Dog.
That was a quick answer right there.
Yeah, all right. What was? Oh man, there's 3 more of these that I usually ask.
One was, what are you watching on Netflix?
Oh yeah, what are you watching on Netflix right now?
I have Netflix. I don't want to watch anything on Netflix because that's the whole focus. Is like I can't binge watch anything because then it distracts me from the mission. I don't play video games too often because in the story mode on video games it distracts me from the mission. And the mission is to be the greatest rapper of all time one day. So I mean, Netflix, when I do watch Netflix, though, I like to watch, like, music documentaries and things like that. I like to watch the Tupac documentaries and, I don't even know what else is on Netflix right now. I know 8 Mile was on there for, like, one time. I was like, heck yeah,
They got the Reverend Run thing, the murder of whatever. Yeah.
Well, I know they got that new Killer Mike show on
which
there.
is great, by the way.
Yeah, it really is.
Oh yeah, there's a thing called Rapture on there where they bring up like Logic, Rhapsody, T.I. I love those.
Yeah, that was
I love
pretty
watching
good
those.
too.
Those inspire me.
David West? No, not the I'm messing up his name already.
I don't know.
Something West, right? He's a rapper from New York. Nas's boy. Like Nas kind of.
Oh, that's
East.
David East.
My bad.
David West.
That's the wrong way, bro. I'm like that
who?
old guy. Well, back in my day, David West. No, David East was on that. It was like one of the last guys I think in that Rapture thing that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But
I watched a few of them, but pretty inspiring.
So what other questions?
No, I can't think of the other ones.
Yeah,
So I guess that's
call
it.
it
Those are good.
Anything or whatever you could think of the other 2. That I'm curious now what they were.
The other question.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm trying. I can't think of them right now. For some reason, my mind just went blank.
Right.
And I used to call them like the quick 5.
Like Fire 5 or whatever.
Yeah, man. And now I forgot.
While you're thinking about your other fire too, what were the questions you had?
Me. Oh, so I wanted to move on to a subject.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's do it. No,
I wanted to just
it.
completely move on.
No,
but the subject that we were talking about. So, it's blowing my mind right now. Okay, do you guys? So it's Black History Month. Black History Month. I will go out there on record and say I understand why there is a Black History Month, why it was needed, but now I don't feel as we need a Black History Month. I feel it may be counterproductive. And before I explain everything, I would want to know your thoughts.
Here we go. I don't even want to talk. You really just said Black History Month is counterproductive?
What are your thoughts?
Like when it comes to like African American, culture and stuff. I mean, I'm not black, so like I can't fully like speak on like those things. I mean, I have a lot of black friends. I've seen a lot of different things where I've like, that seems very unjustified and that doesn't seem fair at all. Like I've firsthand witnessed it, and I'm not. I'm kind of like caught in the middle. I feel like when you're Spanish, like, and you're not white or black, you kind of like can like mingle between both worlds very easily.
Sometimes, yeah.
And I don't know. Like I do feel like there is a lot of negativity going on like in like the African American community as far as like racism towards the culture and just people in general. But like I don't think it's like as bad as it used to be, but I just feel like just hate in general for people, period. Here's how I look at this. Like I want to get to a point where we live in a world where there's no more talking about you're white, you're Spanish, you're black. We're one race. Like
I always say that's a utopian idea.
Well, we need Black History Month.
We're the human race, because like if there was like a White History Month, that would be weird.
Well, there is
11 months out of the year.
Months, yeah,
Spanish History Month.
It's in October. Hispanic Heritage Month.
I don't celebrate it. I mean,
it's not. I'm just saying, it's not.
It exists.
But
it's good. It needs to.
But I feel like there's a Black History Month. Like, why not? I feel like people should be educated on Black history.
Now, I will jump in and say the reason is because I believe it should be American history. My school,
but it's not. They don't teach it.
I know, and that's why I say I know why there was a reason for it, and it was good. It definitely did, because without it, nobody would have taught Black history. Black families barely knew Black history. You know what I'm saying? But now we're in a time where the internet and everything exists. It should be incorporated in American history, taught 12 months out of the year.
Well, until it does, let's have one special month. Until they get it right.
But that's what I think. I think the transition should happen to where it is, because Black History Month is where schools I went to, they sat there and they were like, Black History Month is happening. Let's talk about Martin Luther King. Let's talk about Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey. All right, time's up. No more Black history for the rest of the year. You guys got y'all month, and now we're like, when we get to Spanish Heritage Month, let's talk about Christopher Columbus and the Spanish Inquisition.
Yeah, that's a slap
and it's
in the
like,
face,
wow. You know what I'm saying? So it's like in the schools, they sit there and they pick the 3 topics they tell you in those 3.5 weeks, and that's your Black history, when it's supposed to be about like, so
the reason why I'm going the comments, because there's a teacher on there.
I'm a teacher too.
Well, a teacher that teaches 3rd grade.
Oh, word. So I'm saying in my school, I haven't read the comments, but I will. In my school, that was how Black History Month was taught. It was like these middle school, high school. It was like these 3 people existed. All right, moving on. Mm-hmm. And I feel it's like it should be integrated year round to when you're going, like Black history should be integrated year round.
Nobody's arguing that. Nobody's arguing that.
But that's why I think it should happen, and we should do away with the Black History Month to an extent, to where it's in the schools.
Until that happens, and that's when you can do away with Black History Month. What you're saying, nobody's arguing.
Word.
Nobody's saying anything like it should be. The history in general, like that they teach in school, is a little bogus. I mean, I think we all know that by now. But until, they get that right, I mean, don't hate on Black History Month.
Equality for everybody.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Equality for everybody. Black is beautiful.
Man.
Black people are beautiful. African American culture is amazing. I've been incredible. African American, like everything. I just feel like there's just a way. There's just a lot more ground to cover as far as like loving each other, you know, and that's back to Kanye as far as like the message he was preaching about, you know, let's move forward with love. You know, I just feel like we should all just like begin to love each other. And yeah, it does sound like a utopia idea, but like I just feel like, you know, maybe as kids we did believe in idea of loving everybody, and it's only as we get older that we develop hate for each other, and that we develop these like stereotypes, and it's just stuff that's like almost like programmed in our minds by society, that, you know, black people are a certain way, white people are a certain way, Spanish people are a certain way, Asians, whatever, what have you. I think we just need to stop saying color. I think we just need to just, you know, stop looking at it like it's a color thing. You know, we are all one race. We are all together. When we start separating ourselves from each other is when we're losing. You know, when we start saying like, oh, we should only have an all Spanish thing, or we should only have an all white thing, or an all just black thing, you know, like I think it should all just come together. I believe in unity, you know, when it comes to that. I don't know, like I was raised on Tupac, so like I am like really like a big activist on those things. Like I've studied, like, you know, when I was into Tupac, like Black Panther movements and that history on that. So I'm aware of it. I can't say that I can fully say like I know what it's like to be in their shoes or someone's shoes, but I see it. You know, I see what's going on, and I just want to be a voice for people. That's my goal, and for music is to have my voice get so elevated through music that I can speak on issues that are going on in the world right now, whether it's with poverty in the projects or something that's, you know, unjust in, you know, in jail systems, or just showing people that we need to love each other first and foremost. Because I think when just like I just feel like hate is such like an adult emotion, you know. It's just like something that it comes from when we're growing up, and we get people, you know, throwing stones at us, you know, throughout our life, or we become bitter, we become angry, and that just goes off into other people. And then like a Spanish person walks by, like, oh man, this Spanish person is like, man, like, you know, like, and I see it, you know, I hear it a lot, and I just feel like, you know, it's immaturity to me. The fact that there's still racism still going on in 2019, it's not like a surprise, but it is surprising. You know, I would think that by now, from my experience, I would think that growing up and becoming an adult, you would learn and know that all of us are the same. You know, we are all the same. There's no reason to judge anybody else on the color of their skin. It's actually very disgusting that, you know, I could only imagine if I ever met somebody face to face that was like, I don't like black people because they're black. I would love to have like a heated debate with somebody.
They probably wouldn't like you either, man.
You know, yeah. You know, I'm sure. I probably would have.
Be happy you've never met anyone like that.
I'm sure there would be even physical altercation when it comes to that, because I'm very like I'm passionate about that, because like a lot of my best friends are black. You know, like a lot of the people that helped me the most were black. You know, and you know, I'm in a black culture. I'm in hip hop, you know, this is, you know, black culture. So like I have nothing but the utmost and fullest respect, you know, for black people, you know. So yeah, so I don't know, unity all across the board.
Type his IG, by the way.
Can you type your IG in the chat room? We got a homie saying he wants to follow you because he likes to vibe. But
thank you.
We got to wrap it up. It's I don't
open the can of worms. Everything else. No, you're good.
I opened the can of worms because I have a lot to say on like reasons why, like what I'm saying, because you know there's a lot that goes into it.
You know
just
what?
a blanket statement.
We got a whole month to talk about it.
Yeah. You know, because. Yeah, I got a lot to say about it, but and also New Jersey is requiring a law that LGBTQ history be taught.
Yeah, I like that. I saw that. Well. Shout out to Jersey.
I wanted to talk about that as well, but we don't have any time.
Yeah, no, we run out of time. It's all good. Yeah. Real quick, man. Before we go, I wanted to start the show off with this, and just kind of got it turned around. We lost a Are You Afraid of the Blank family member 2 days ago, unfortunately, and he was a good friend of mine. I went to high school with him, and he used to just follow me everywhere, just my career. It's funny, because I was on 96.9 FM, the sports station, a couple years ago, and every time we did a Facebook Live or anything, he was, boom, one of the first people on there. You know what I mean? I don't know if you ever had somebody like that, but this guy, I'm a nobody. You know what I mean? Like I work a 9 to 5, and you know, all the radio stuff. You know, that's why I work a 9 to 5. Yeah. But he's that kind of person that, like, he just really made me feel like I was the most famous guy on the planet. It was insane, you know, and just saw his shout outs on air all the time, and just seeing his name pop up in the feeds and everything like that. And it's a shame because it did happen. It happened because of this whole health insurance problem that we're having.
That's another conversation.
You know, it is. You know, he passed in his sleep. He couldn't afford the medication that he was on, and he couldn't afford health insurance anymore because of the premiums that went up. And I'm saying that because, you know, these things are important. People, we got to go out and vote. And, you know, this is an actual example of losing somebody who, unfortunately, was probably one of the, he would give you the shirt off his back, and he had nothing. The guy had nothing. Like, anyways, you know, I dedicate this episode and everything, and this whole year and everything to Mark Salmon, and everybody back in Kissimmee and Osceola High School and everyone that knew him. So shout out, like, Mark, R.I.P., man. And
rest in peace.
You know,
yeah.
I'm sorry I had to be that way, man. Guys, vote. Health insurance is real, and, you know, check on the ones you love. Like, do what you got to do.
And on that note, thank you, Nino Blu.
Yeah, no, for sure. You know, just you know, to anyone out there listening, you know, I hope I can, you know, just prove to you that I'm the next artist that will hopefully be on your playlist and your phones, your headphones, your car, to help you get through your day. Love for all people. You know, shout out to everybody out there in the world. LGBT. I know we didn't get a chance to touch on that, but I also believe in, you know, equality for all people. I don't judge anybody. I believe everyone deserves to be loved and cared for, you know. So that's the message I want to give out to the world, and to anyone out there listening, just always believe in yourself, in your dreams, keep pushing forward. Nothing is impossible.